Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Posi-TIPS with Rachelle, folks. Last time, I highlighted some examples for you on motivation, just some motivation killers, some sweet spots, and determining the importance of determining your sweet spot in terms of what motivates you. And as I stated last time, it is so easy to fall into the trap of running around trying to imitate other people, do what other people do, have what other people have, think what other people think, say what other people say. But folks, in order to truly be happy and to truly be motivated intrinsically, because that intrinsic or internal motivation is going to last versus allowing someone what your neighbor has, what your best friend has, what your high school buddy does. Those type of extrinsic motivators are often a recipe for misery and unhappiness. So it's important that we ask ourselves, what is truly important to us? Where do our values lie? And how can we live authentic, good, happy, whole lives? And one thing I wanted to just highlight on this episode, folks, and that is the importance of facing truth. And when we talk about motivation, but it takes an element of courage, of self-awareness, of emotional honesty, to look at yourself, to look at your situation. This is true for all of us, and say, you know what? I have wrong motives. You know, for instance, a person can say, I despise going to work every day. I dislike my job. I wish I could just leave. And unfortunately, research has shown, human resources research has shown, the overwhelming majority of the workplace is dissatisfied, unhappy, and disengaged in their current position. So just to utilize the workplace as an example, job, career, workplace. The courage that it takes for a person to say, this is not working for me. I cannot do this. I'm living a lie. In some cases, someone may say, I'm making a lot of money, or I have these benefits, or I have the corner office, or I have the title. But the truth is, deep down, they're miserable. So whether it's in a professional life, personal life, we've got to be able to face truth. To face reality, to be able to admit truth to ourselves, most importantly. Yes, to other people, but to ourselves. Because that's why I think we have an epidemic of people who are miserable, who are unhappy, who are dissatisfied, who are chasing happiness because they don't have the ability or the desire, more than likely, to say, what am I doing? This is not working. I've got to do something different. Like that old Ernie Larson saying, that quote, I quote him often, because it's so true. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So, to keep doing the same thing, and it was Einstein, to keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, is the definition of insanity. And that's true for all of us. We just got to be willing to take a step back, slow down, and say, this is not working for me. Do I want to spend the next hours, days, weeks, months, and yes, years of my life doing this in a situation that is not working? Am I able to fix this situation? Is there something that can be addressed? Or is this something where I've just got to make an exit? And I realize that taking the exit, that's going to require a lot of courage, because then people are going to ask you, what are you doing? You may get judged, you may get criticized, you may get rejected. And so those fears naturally keep people from taking the actions that they want to take. But something that I often say, folks, is you better face the truth, or that same truth is going to come back and hit you in the face. I mean, how true is that statement when you let it sink in? You know, people want to live in denial, and this isn't happening, and yes, I'm miserable. You know, I'm miserable, but this job pays me a lot of money. All right, but when you get laid off, or when you get fired, and then all of a sudden you're doing some soul searching, that's a very small percentage of the population that will do some soul searching and say, you know what, I never really wanted to be on this career path in the first place. I did this because someone else was doing it, or I did it for the prestige of having this type of job, or this type of title, or this type of car, this type of lifestyle. All I'm saying is we've got to be true to ourselves, because if you're waking up every day and you don't have a zest for life, you're not energetic, you're not enthusiastic, you're not just ready to go and just, yeah, let's make this day happen, this is going to be great, there's a problem. I mean, and that can be true for several aspects of your life, or in several aspects of your life. But it's going to take you being willing to face the truth, to say this isn't working, or certainly most importantly, but most certainly most challenging, my motives were wrong. My motives were wrong for pursuing this situation, for pursuing this relationship, whatever the case may be. Can it be fixed? Or is this just not salvageable? But the prospect of, and this is only a decision that you can make, the prospect of living unhappy is a decision that only you can make. I know a number of years ago, I made a decision that happiness was my number one goal, and it truly is. And people often tell me, Rachelle, you're the most positive, happy person I've ever met in my life. But that's because personally, folks, being unhappy is not an option. I mean, for those of you who know me, I'm not afraid of change. I think just from being a little girl, being brought up in those military bases and all of that. My dad was in the Navy, and then he became civil service and military installations. So I constantly had that come and go of people, that constant change. And so for me, I just think, and moving around different places, that has truly hardwired me to be very comfortable with change. And to recognize that change is a part of life, and there are seasons. I believe in the seasons of life. Now, this friendship may be cool in this season of life, but then down the road, we have absolutely nothing in common, and this is painful, truly, I'm sure, for the both of us, and not just me. So, we need to have friendships and all of that evolve and grow with us, but also be willing to be open to new friendships that certainly are better fits for the season that we're in. That's certainly something that I practice. But so folks, just think about that. How committed to you is happiness even a goal of yours, or just existing or surviving? Is that the most important thing to you? Because if you're not willing to make any changes, if you're not willing to make happiness a priority, the happiness of yourself, and of your family, and of just all of that, but you've got to start with yourself first. It's got to be a decision. Because when you make those decisions, it's amazing how things around you can also line up as well. Right? What's driving you crazy? What's driving you crazy right now? What's causing you to be miserable? What's the source? Who or what is the source of your misery? And more importantly, lastly, what are you going to do to change it, folks? Because I could sit here for 17 hours straight on this episode and talk to you about the importance of recognizing that you deserve to be happy. Happiness is an option for you. Success is an option for you. Health, wellness, and fitness is an option for you. But until you believe it yourself, until you are willing to make concrete steps based on a solid decision, not a resolution, not a New Year's resolution, but some solid decisions that are backed up by positive steps, positive affirmative steps in the right direction, your life is not going to change. And so if that's the type of life you want, that's fine. We're all entitled to live how we want to live. But just spare the people around you, the negativity, the misery, being a Debbie Downer or a negative Nelly, or when I heard the other day I read somewhere, Bob Bummer, just spare other people that. If you want to be miserable and unhappy, yes, I know misery loves company, but there's a lot of other people that don't want to have anything to do with it. And I know I'm certainly one of them. But yes, I'm happy, and I just don't settle for anything less. In any aspect of my life, I'm willing to make some very swift changes if necessary. And that's truly my secret. to live in a happy life, I'm not afraid of change. If something's not working in my life, I've got to, what's going on? What's my motive here? How long has this not been working? Can this situation be salvaged? If not, I've got to go in a different direction. All right, but I'm very willing to face truth. It's as tough as that can be at times, folks. So that's all I have for you today. It's been great, and I look forward to the next episode. But until then, remember, I am positively passionate about your success and happiness. Make it a great day.